You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Okay, welcome. We'll call the Board of Selectmen's meeting for February 19th, 2025 to order. Item 1, to consider and if appropriate, approve the minutes from November 20th, 2024, December 11th, 2024, which was as corrected by the clerk. That was a special meeting. December 20th, 2024, special meeting, and January 24, 2025, special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Move, seconded. Any corrections other than the ones noted by the clerk? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. Item 2, can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending tax appeals?
So moved.
Second.
Move, seconded. We'll invite in Attorney Perito to discuss with us. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are now back in regular session. For the record, no votes were taken while in executive session. Item 3, to consider, can I get a motion to approve the proposed settlement for, I forget the exact, Bourbon Drive, 61 Bourbon Drive.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. Thank you, Attorney Perito. Item 4, to receive a report from Brian Devlin, Superintendent Wastewater Treatment Facility, for the emergency work related to repair of a damaged 8-inch sewer line located near 49 Swift Street, completed by Layden Industries LLC at a cost of $32,667.82.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we had the section, we had to take out 25 feet of the sectional pipe and put in affordable fill, and also we have a concrete on top of that due to the area. And the concrete's, if we ever had to go down there, hopefully not again, it's easier to break up and repair. So that's where the cost escalated to that amount. We had 25 feet. It started out with 10. As they went down, we had bows and issues, so we took this section out. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do it over.
I'll redo it.
Well, so you received a, you had an emergency repair work that had to take place, totaling $32,667.82, about 25 feet of pipe. I think you also had a storm drain that was a conflict that had to be dealt with.
Dealt with
and the repair and the patchwork.
Yeah, the patchwork.
I would just also note, this work that was performed, these rates for the machine rates and crew rates are already established through a competitive process that we went through earlier in the year that set the rates for on-call and emergency on-call work. All right. Well, thanks for the report. Motion to accept the report.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All right, move second, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed, abstention. Item 5, to consider an appropriate approve a request from Kevin Ortiz, Civil Design Engineer, to waive the informality in the bid for the pedestrian connectivity improvement received from Murillo Construction LLC and award the contract to Murillo Construction LLC in the amount of $407,757.75. Murillo Construction LLC was the low bidder. However, the bid bond was not submitted with the bid package. The bid bond has since been received. So I provided letters. Any questions regarding this? I believe Kevin provided all the information, the bid results, and we could see the difference between the low bidder and the second was a difference of approximately $48,000. That's in the After doing their review, the engineering department feels it's in the best interest of the town to waive this informality and award the bid.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, it's been moved, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, item carries. Item 6, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Willoughby Wallace Memorial Library to approve an exemption as permitted by Section 115-4 of the Code of the Town of Branford and allow the serving of beer and wine during the art opening receptions to be held on the following dates: March 2nd, snow date March 9th, April 6th, May 4th, June 1st, June 29th, July 27th, August 3rd, August 31st, September 7th, September 28th, October 26th, and November 23, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appointments. Academy on the Green, Branford Historical Society Representative Brittany Ryan, term to expire June 30th, 2028.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, item carries. Deputy Emergency Management Director, Thomas Wind, Thomas Wind to serve. We do have the chief here as well. Do you want to talk about this appointment a little bit, chief?
Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon. So Thomas is a local Branford resident. He has a young family here in town. They go to East Shore Catholic Academy, and he's a retired Yale police sergeant who came to us during working on his emergency management degree. Fit right in with the team. He's been a breath of fresh air working with us. His full-time job, he works as the head of security for Booking.com for the entire Western Hemisphere, so all the way down to South America. And through that employment, he has a lot of other resources and talents that he brings to the table. The current deputy, Tim Murray, he has a lot on his plate. He's eager to pass the baton to somebody else, and I thought this was a good opportunity considering the meld and fit we had in the office. So I'm asking the board to appoint Thomas Wynn as the deputy emergency management director.
Okay, great.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Green Committee, First Baptist Church Representative Susan Ward, term to expire May 31st, 2028.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. Planning and Zoning, alternate, David Dyer, term to expire October 31st, 2027.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. Water Pollution Control Authority, Kirsten Dooley, term to expire October 15th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, item carries. Reappointments, Board of Fire Commissioners, Paul Riccio and Kathy Fox, term to expire January 31st, 2028.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstention, item carries. Board of Ethics, Kyle Nelson, term to expire January 30th, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. Parker Memorial Park Commission, Edward Esborn, term to expire December 31st, 2029.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. 9, green use. To consider and if appropriate, approve a request from the Compassion Club for the use of the town green on, is that one withdrawn? I'm sorry. That item was withdrawn. I apologize. Okay, item 10, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from the Stony Creek Farmers Market for the use of Bayview Park to hold a farmers markets Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., May 18th through November 2nd, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, item carries. 11, item correspondence. I believe we just have one that the board received from Kevin Coughlin, 5 Collins Drive. It was regarding concerns regarding the potential impact of potential loss or cut in federal funds, asking, what projects and positions and services may be at risk that rely on federal funding. At this time, we are assessing and considering, as the board knows, and for the past several months, the Board of Finance has been discussing the challenges that we will face when adopting the 26 fiscal year budget. And certainly what we see in the news headlines and the potential cuts to federal fundings is just another challenge that we may face. And the board will consider that. As of now, there's no positions or any notification that we've lost any federal funding. In terms of our federal delegation continues to monitor, the municipal advocacy groups continue to monitor the situation as well. And I think you even heard from the governor himself, who stated, don't get worked up over the headlines. Let's see what happens. We still don't know what would happen at the state level. The town of Branford has faced this challenge in the past. You may recall in 2017, then Governor Malloy had eliminated in his proposed budget all municipal aid. However, the town of Branford, and through the budget process, deliberations, we developed a strategy to essentially, if that worst case scenario did come to fruition, where we would still be able to retain and provide programs and services to the residents of Branford. I expect we would do the same in this situation. And that 2017, we met our obligation that is set by the charter to adopt a budget, and we did that in the required time frame, where many other municipalities had not, and the final state budget wasn't known until October of that year, so obviously several months after we adopted a budget. So with that said, the next couple months through the Board of Finance and the RTM, the town will be deliberating on the fiscal year 26 budget, and these challenges will continue to be monitored, assessed, and we'll lay out a strategy to try to mitigate any potential impact. All right, item 12.
Cancel.
Yeah, I was going to, other business, if you want to come up. Yeah, why don't you, why don't you come up to the microphone?
Hi, Dan Halley.
How you doing?
In case you don't know. The individual that wrote that letter, does he not deserve to have that read in public? He's taken the time to write that letter. And I think that the public would like to know what was written in that letter. Could you not read that? The letter?
I did not read it, really,
I know you
we don't, okay, listen, you asked a question, I'm going to answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
So I will read the letter if you'd like, but for any time we have correspondence, it is included in the minutes of the meeting, which anybody can find online or in the town clerk's office. So the letter itself would be included with the, and was it attached to the agenda as well? Not this one, but oftentimes it would be. So I thought I summarized, I believe I summarized, so
But I want to
subject,
respond to that,
Branford
what
Board.
you said. I'd like to respond to
Yeah,
that.
go
what
ahead,
you said.
go ahead.
The issue there is that, a lot of times, these meetings are not public and minutes approved until months later, as happened today. So any discrepancy there cannot be, and not just this letter, because that's obviously not as straightforward, but relatively straightforward. But the question here is if it takes 3 months for the minutes to be approved, then if there's any alterations on this letter or whatnot, who knows, right? 3 months later, right?
Yeah, pull the microphone towards you, if you don't mind. Okay, so is your request to have this letter read?
I do.
Okay.
I did, yes.
Branford Board of Selectmen, subject, inquiry regarding federally funded town services, positions, and projects at risk. Dear members of the Branford Board of Selectmen, I'm writing to formally request information regarding any town services, programs, projects, or positions in Branford that receive full or partial funding from the federal government. Various executive orders and policy changes at the federal level have led to the defunding or potential defunding of numerous programs across the country. Recent actions taken by President Donald Trump's administration may put much in Branford at risk. While much of the current public discourse is focused on the impact at the state level and on federally administered services, I am particularly interested in how these federal actions may affect Branford at the municipal level. Specifically, I would like to know a list of town services, projects, and positions that rely on federal funding, either wholly or in part, any assessments that have been conducted to determine the potential risks posed by recent or anticipated federal funding cuts, the extent of which Branford's public schools and education programs may be impacted by reductions in federal support, any contingency plans the town is developing to address potential shortfalls should federal funding be reduced or eliminated. I recognize that many municipalities in Connecticut are conducting similar assessments to determine the scope of the potential risk. Understanding what is at stake here, Branford will help inform residents and facilitate discussions how to best prepare for any potential budgetary shortfalls or programmatic disruptions. I would appreciate any documentation, reports, or insights you can provide on this matter. If a meeting or public discussion is planned regarding this issue, I would also appreciate notice so that I and other concerned residents can participate. Thank you for the time and attention to this important issue. I look forward to your response and appreciate your efforts to ensure transparency and proactive planning of our town. So, okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
That took less than 3 minutes, and I think a person who takes the time to write that at least should be off, given that respect, due, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. You can see there's an issue here that if somebody writes this letter and you have special meetings, it may be 3 months before that letter is presented even to the board, right? Because special meetings in the past have not, last I've seen, have not had any time for public input or for correspondence. And which brings me to another point, or brings me to a point here. What is the difference between a special meeting and a regular meeting?
A special meeting is a meeting that has not had the statutory notice requirements. So we adopt a calendar at the beginning of the year, which lays out the schedule of those meetings. When we hold a meeting, and that, I'm sure you're aware, that the calendar needs to be adopted 30 days, I believe it's 30 days prior to the start of the regular schedule of meetings. So when a meeting is taking place that's outside of that previously adopted schedule of meetings, we determine as a special meeting, and therefore no new business or can be discussed or acted on.
So if you have a special meeting, can you not have it in the same format as a regular meeting? Or do you have to have it in a format in which no public input is taken and no written
I think the
correspondence is allowed, or what?
I believe the concern with going outside of the format is if there's the line of crossing the line of is the board taking action on something that was not posted as part of a regular meeting, or not on so during a regular meeting, if something was to come on up, we could add it to the agenda and act it. When you do a special meeting, you're acting only what's on that posted agenda.
Right, and I understand that, but cannot on that,
I believe,
can there not be on that posted agenda?
no, I think if we had a special meeting and we wanted to have correspondence,
Yeah,
right? I believe we may be able to accept or read correspondence, but it would be advised for the board not to have anything that would indicate that we're taking action on that correspondence.
But
Which
you
in the
don't,
past,
you don't with correspondence anyway, normally.
in the past, there's been, I believe there's been some letters that have come in and somebody's had a specific request, which we, then the board.
You usually refer that to some department or whatnot, right?
Or how we'd handle it. So I think it's just to really be sensitive to that, not to cross that line. But as far as having that item on a special agenda meeting, I believe we correspondence, we could. It's again, more to, err at a caution. Historically, the board has not had that on there. I mean, this isn't something that you're just, from this administration, I believe in the past administrations, as well as, a number of other boards and commissions, when it's having a special meeting, they limit to the items that are before them to take action on.
I understand that, but you can see the issue that arises with that format is that, for instance, the last time there was a public meeting, a regular public meeting, was in November. Here we are at the end of February, and no input has been allowed on public correspondence or just, individuals. Well, I guess individual, there's only one person left there. So, that creates an issue where, oftentimes you say, oh, write a letter. Well, if the letter's not going to be read for 3 months, what the heck good is that? Because that issue is not going to, that might be an immediate issue that has to be addressed, and you say write a letter, it's 3 months down the road, that's not serving the public.
Well,
you can see how that's an issue?
No, because I think in reality that doesn't become an issue, and I'll tell you why. If somebody was to, if there was something that needed to be addressed immediately, and that, oftentimes they'll contact the office directly to have an issue addressed. But if that has to be addressed immediately. If somebody had sent a correspondence, and you could see, we have this letter that was dated February 10th. We received it within the past 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So prior to this regular scheduled meeting, we
Right.
received this letter. So we acted on it. This is the only correspondence in the packet. If we had, you had stated we hadn't had we hadn't had a regular scheduled meeting since November, and therefore a correspondence would not have been addressed. The reason why we had special meetings is there was just very specific things that need to be acted on. When we had our regular schedule, due to the holidays, the holidays fell, and primarily with the schedule, that's what led to the cancellation and the adoption of the meeting, where we didn't have the the beginning meeting there wasn't a regular scheduled meeting, once again, because the calendar. So we set up special meetings to take care of the business that needed to take care of. We had not received any correspondence. But to your question, yes, could we include, if there was something pressing that, a resident sent a correspondence? We're not ignoring their letters. We do bring them. They're on every meeting agenda that are sent to the board. They're at the following meeting. So just as this one has come forward, and it was on this meeting because it was a regular one, but your concern about a letter coming in that was timely in the need for an issue to be addressed, I can't imagine a situation where it would go months there, it wasn't responded to in some fashion. Oftentimes, we'll receive a letter and it's just directed to the office, or it's followed up with a phone call, and it's really a direct correspondence that the individual is looking for.
However, you can see how it creates a little bit of an issue, if not a great issue, for individuals who might want to come in person to a meeting. Mm-hmm. For instance, last regular meeting was, I think, scheduled for February 5th, and it was canceled. So somebody who wants to bring an issue to the board cannot there, and then if this were a special meeting this time, like they had in November and December and January, that person would not be able to address something in public to the board. And that's important, I think, that the public declaration of these concerns and the public interchange with the board is important. That offers transparency to the whole town because these things are on BCTV. And the whole last year of all the meetings that you attended, special meetings, regular meetings, whatnot, the actual meeting of the board was 6 hours and 1 minute. So it's not like you're really, under the gun for time here, I wouldn't think. So this is, I just think as a public service, because you are employees of the public, to allow the public to have that input on all meetings that are selectmen meetings. It just makes sense to me. Now, whether anybody actually comes here or not, that's a whole nother story. And that refers back to you last year when I complained just about a year ago about making these meetings at 4:30. I said, you'll have no public showing up here. And I'm exactly the only person here. In the start of this meeting, there were 4 people here. 3 of them had concerns directly to issues on the agenda. So you're not getting the public to show up, and then you discourage those few people that do show up from having any input, because you say, well, it's a special meeting, you can't do it on a special meeting. So that's my concern, and I think that it would not be a difficult thing if there's no regulation that permits you to, or prevent you from actually putting any names, putting the other on all agendas as well as correspondence. I don't see why you couldn't do it. Just my input as to why I think that we can make this government, Branford, more forthcoming to the whole public.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Move second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.